We have a question from Kenny. How can freelancers work long hours but avoid the burnout? How do you balance work and life? That's a good one.
You you can't. You can't work long hours and avoid burnout. So I think the premise and logic of the question is flawed, but I get it and I understand and I've been there. So I think that, the way that I approach time is a little different than most people. So I kind of approach time in that we are going to fill our time we're going to fill the space with what we've got. So if we give ourselves 40 hours to do a project, it's going to take 40 hours or more to do it.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you push yourself to get it done in 20 hours, then probably it's only going to take you 20 hours. And I think so there's one part of that the space is going to fill if you let it, and if you're not vigilant about not filling every hour of the day with work. Because I don't know about you, Kenny, but for me, I work for myself, so I don't have to work all the time. Like when I'm working very hard, and I do more work than a lot of people. But when I do that work, so I don't have to work all the time. Like I don't work on Fridays. Because you can see, like I live in the woods and I like to hike and be in the woods. So like on Fridays, I don't work. And I realize that I can get the same amount of work done in 4 days that I can in 5. The other thing, and the biggest thing, especially for freelancers, is boundaries. And a lot of freelancers are scared to set boundaries. So the problem with that is if you don't set boundaries, other people are going to make boundaries for you, and you have to live with the boundaries that they've set. And so an example of that is if you start replying to emails at 11 o'clock at night from your clients, they're going to start expecting replies at 11 o'clock if they email you at like 10:50. So why do that? Or if you reply on the weekends, they're going to assume, oh, so-and-so is working. Kenny, you're working on the weekend now. I expect next weekend you to be working on the weekend for me. So doing what's it called? Right inbox is one of them. Boomerang for Gmail is another one. Even if you are working, pretend you're not. So schedule your replies to send out at like 9 a.m. the next day, or at Monday at 10 a.m. or something like that. Because you want to train your clients that you're available during the time that you're working. And then if you're not working, like if you're sleeping at 11 o'clock, I don't know, I'm old, so I go to bed early. But like and right now I have to be up at 5 a.m. every day. So like I'm in bed way before 11 o'clock right now. So it's a good thing to set boundaries. It's also a good thing if you set boundaries in your contracts. And that's a good thing about contracts, is that you can use those to set boundaries. So if for your price, you're comfortable doing 3 rounds of revisions, if you're like a writer, designer, developer, then put in the contract explicitly that this price includes 3 rounds of revisions. If you want more than that, I will quote you on extra rounds. It's the same with the hours thing and the time thing. If you don't set boundaries, people are going to set boundaries for you. If the client might expect you to do 10 rounds and want to take it to 10 rounds just so they feel they got their money's worth. But if you say right from the onset that, look, this price gets you 3 rounds, and they're like, okay, I can do 3 rounds. So things like that, because if you work long hours, you are going to burn out. And if you don't, it's hard when you work for yourself too, because if you're not working, you're not getting paid. But figuring out how to make enough money so when you do take breaks, like to go on vacation, you're covered. And to like build up a bit of a buffer and a bit of like savings. So if you do want to take a break, because breaks are needed. Like we're not built. We're built to move all the time. We're not built to sit at a computer all the time.
Yep.
We forget that we have like physical bodies that are supposed to move around all the time, instead of just like our brains plugged into the internet and matrix doing stuff.